Yes guys, welcome back to the channel. So recently we've been, grading NBA teams off season. And today we're going to grade the Houston Rockets and their off season. So we'll get into their squad straight away, and then we'll get into what they did. So their potential starting five could be, point guard you'd assume would be John Wall. We'll get onto his trade in a minute. Shooting guard at the moment is James Harden. Hopefully for Rockets fans, you definitely want to keep him. So hopefully, James Harden as your shooting guard. Maybe Daniel House just as your starting small forward, Christian Wood as your power forward, and Boogie Cousins as your starting centre. Now, of course, this is only a potential lineup. You want to change a few players around here. There's potential. Then your backup. You've got Eric Gordon, Ben McLemore, Sterling Brown, Gerald Green, and PJ Tucker as your second unit potentially. Then you've got Chris Kelmans, Mason Jones, Kenyon Martin Jr., Bruno Caboclo, and Kenny Water filling out your roster. Now, starting off with the draft, the Rockets didn't have a high pick this year, and so they only got number 52 overall pick, where they drafted Kenyon Martin Jr. So he could potentially be your third option as a small forward, a wing player. So that's who you drafted. So I can't really rate that draft too much. I don't know a lot about Kenyon Martin. I don't know anything about Kenyon Martin Jr. to be honest. So what let the draft be? Free agency then, they got DeMarcus Cousins on a I think it was non-guaranteed, but anyway, veteran minimum contract. And I think this is a good move. I think this is a low risk, high reward move for the Rockets. Obviously, we all know DeMarcus Cousins and his career. Starting off the Kings, excellent, an all-star center. Then went to the New Orleans Pelicans. Did very well there as well. And he could have took money there. I think he had a big enough contract on the table for him there, but he decided to go for the ring, and he signed a veteran minimum contract with the Golden State Warriors. Now, of course, he had a couple of injuries, and he was injured and he missed the start of the season with the Warriors. Came back in the playoffs, and he wasn't at full fitness, but he didn't disgrace himself. No shame over how he played in the playoffs. But of course, he ended up losing to the Raptors, so he didn't get the ring. He only had a veteran minimum contract, so no money or ring. So that one pretty frail for him. Then he got an Achilles. He actually signed the Lakers first during the 2019 off season, going to the 1920 season, and he was meant to be the Lakers starting center. With AD and Rondo, he played in the first Pelican days, moving with LeBron and the boys. But of course, unfortunately for him, he tore his ACL. He tore his ACL and his Achilles in his career. But he got a big injury last year, ruled him out for the year. The Lakers kept him on the bench for a while. Of course, Dwight Howard replaced him. We all know that went. Dwight redeemed himself, but Boogie was on the bench for most of last season with the Lakers. Then he got waived near the end to get Markieff Morrison, and he's been out of no team since until this off season, where the Houston Rockets, they brought him in. I think this is a brilliant move for the Rockets. Hopefully, Boogie Cousins he gets back to close enough to what he formerly was. He's got 2 serious injuries and many other injuries, but hopefully, he gets 70% of what Boogie was, and that's an unbelievable deal. He's not the greatest defender, but he's a good player in the offensive end to have. And I think it could be the starting center for next season. Now, their trades. They started off the off-season trading Robert Covington to Portland for Trevor Ariza and a number 16 pick. Now, when this happened, most Rockets fans just thought, they're going to blow the whole thing up. Westbrook demanded the trade, James Harden demanded a trade, and then he slowly retracted that. But I still think he wants to go. But it looks like he's not going to Brooklyn, James Harden. But anyway, so when they traded Robert Covington, you were thinking, this isn't a good move for the Rockets. Covington was a good player last year for them, but it would turn out that they would then add Ariza and that number 16 overall pick as part of a sign-in trade with the Detroit Pistons to get Christian Wood from Detroit. Obviously, now this is a brilliant move for the Rockets. This surprised me when they got him. Christian Wood, he had a very good season last year. He started to improve. He started to show what he can do, and I think this is a good move for Houston. Christian Wood, I think he averaged 13 points per game near the end of last season. Christian Wood was improving. Detroit fans would know better than me. He was starting to improve near the end of last season and show what he can do. Then, of course, in recent weeks, they traded Russell Westbrook for John Wall, as I made a video on, and they traded Russell Westbrook and they got John Wall and 2021 first round pick. So I think this is a good move for the Rockets also, because Westbrook didn't want to be there. He didn't fit in with the system last year. Now John Wall, he hasn't played in almost 2 years, so but he's looking fit, in those warm-up games or those pick-up games he's playing at the moment. And hopefully he can come back. Him and Westbrook are pretty similar players, they're slashing to the rim. But as I said in that video I made, John Wall is a better shooter than Russell Westbrook. He's been improving pretty much every year. He can shoot the three better than him. He can shoot. So this I think this could work. Possibly could work. John Wall. Let's see how he comes back from injury. Maybe he's improved his shooting. Maybe he's not. Who knows? We'll wait and see how he looks once he comes back. So, and they also lost Austin Rivers to the New York Knicks. He signed there. So that's their point guard gone. Well, he wasn't their starting point guard anyway. So overall, this is a surprisingly good offseason for the Rockets. I thought they're going to blow the whole thing up when Westbrook. I definitely knew Westbrook would go. Harden, I was 50-50 on. Didn't know if he was going to go or not. As I said, when Westbrook demanded a trade, they had to let him go. He was no good for them. And John Wall a healthy John Wall is a good replacement, maybe even better. To actually talk to. Unbelievable there. Then as for getting Christian Wood, I think this is a great move. One of the underrated moves of the offseason. It's like not like the blockbuster trade or anything, just one of those low key, pretty good moves. Unbelievable move, if you ask me. I think he can bring a lot. He can space the floor for them. He's starting to shoot the threes, and he's scoring more, and he's a big body. He'll bring a lot to the team. Also, as I said, Boogie Cousins, he's a low risk, high reward player. So you can't lose much of Boogie, and hopefully he can bring a lot to them. As we know, him and John Wall play together in Kentucky, so maybe they can get that connection back and see what they can do next season with him and James Harden and John Wall and Christian Wood. Almost like a big four almost, So overall, I'm gonna give the Rockets a solid 7 out of 10, which is better than I thought would happen this season. They lost Daryl Morey as their executive. Mike D'Antoni left, so and I thought they were gonna blow the whole thing up for Houston. But surprisingly, a good off season, bringing in John Wall, Boogie Cousins, Christian Wood. I think it's almost a stronger starting five than last season's. John Wall is arguably an upgrade on Westbrook. Boogie Cousins is definitely an upgrade on PJ Tucker, because they played small ball last year. So Christian Wood an upgrade. Daniel House, depends how he plays. He might be their starting small forward. Wait and see in that. If they can keep James Harden, it's a 7 out of 10 for me. If Harden goes, you can knock that down to a 5 or a 4. They'll be struggling then. But as it stands, with James Harden, I give this a 7 out of 10. And where do you think the Houston Rockets will come next year? I think Houston should be aiming between the 4th and 6th seed in the West. I definitely think the Lakers, the Clippers, the Nuggets are better than them. Then you also got the Mavs. Then you got the Mavs, Rockets, and Suns. I think as a pack, the three of them, it's debatable where they go. I think the 5th seed in the middle of the 4th and 6th. 5th seed, I think most likely, or even 6th. I don't even know at this stage. Phoenix built a good team. We'll do a trade. We'll do a grade in their offseason video soon. But yeah, they had a good offseason, Phoenix. But Houston, a surprisingly good offseason. I definitely expect it to upset next year. A top 6 seed for sure. First or second, maybe second round in playoffs, I think is all I can get. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on notifications, because we're going to be making plenty of videos over the next couple of... We're actually uploading every day until the 25th of December. And if there's any NBA news, which at the moment is slowing down, but if there is, we'll double upload. But you get one video a day at least until the 25th of December. So make sure to like the video, subscribe, and notifications on. If there's any video you want to see next, leave in the comments below and we'll prioritise that. And with all that said, guys, I'm out of here.